The next step, and where you're going to be spending the most time, is T, tailoring your response. So asking the right questions helps determine the program to recommend and allows you to tailor your response to their needs. The main question you're trying to ask is the student remedial or enrichment? If it's a remedial student, then you're going to go based off of our three basic sections: elementary, which is your first through fourth grade students; your middle, which is your fifth through your pre-algebra; and then your algebra, which is your algebra 1 and higher. If they're enrichment, the enrichment conversation is going to be the same. So for a remedial student, we're going to want to follow the following steps. Present the program in a customized way that solicits buy-in to our philosophy and commitment to a long-term solution. And this can sometimes be difficult, but it starts with the process of number 1. Math is sequential. We must start at the right place, and foundational skills are critical. If it's an elementary student who's first through fourth grade, you want to talk about counting, addition, subtraction, multiplication, division, ratios, decimals, and fractions. Huge pain points, and they all build on each other. Your middle schoolers that are fifth grade through pre-algebra talk about multiplication, division, ratios, decimals, fractions, integers, order of operations, percents, and pre-algebra skills. Your algebra 1 and higher talk about decimals, fractions, integers, order of operations, percents, pre-algebra, the SAT and ACT, college algebra, and beyond. Difficulties in math will only increase. If math is hard now, imagine how it will be if nothing is done. Math continues to build while waiting. The problems only get worse. Gaps get harder to fill as time goes on. So go ahead and paint that mental picture with analogies. Here's an example conversation that you can say when speaking with the parent. For our elementary first through fourth grade students, start like this. As you may know, math is very unique in that it's sequential, meaning it builds upon itself. Because of that, you need to build the foundational skills in order for them to understand what they're currently seeing in the classroom. Mastering these foundational skills like addition, subtraction, and then multiplication and division is critical for success, and unfortunately, it will only get worse if it's not addressed. Having that start off and set the framework for your parents really helps with that buy-in to our philosophy. For our middle school students that are fifth grade through pre-algebra, you would want to start off like this. As you may know, math is very unique in that it's sequential, meaning it builds upon itself. Because of that, you need to build the foundational skills in order for them to understand what they are currently seeing in the classroom. Mastering these foundational skills like multiplication, division, fractions, decimals, and percents is critical for success. And unfortunately, it will only get worse if it's not addressed. For our Algebra 1 and higher students, we want to tie in some college stuff. So the true definition of mastery is your child's full understanding how to manipulate numbers instead of just pure memorization. In our experience, we have seen that kids have great memories and they can quickly memorize enough to pass the test at the end of the week, but then it's forgotten as they move on in class. The reason why we are struggling in the 7th grade is because if you don't have mastery and a great foundation from those earlier years, you start to struggle as you progress to higher grades. If we are still confused with our fractions, decimals, percents, integers, and graphing, it makes it tough to master our current class skills, whether they be algebra, geometry, or so on. Imagine college days if we don't take care of this now. Did you know that 60% of college students go in unprepared in math and need to take remedial classes? Here at Mathnasium, we want our students to succeed and go on to be engineers, doctors, scientists, etc. I'm sure you would love the same for your son, correct? And this is where we want them to say yes or somehow agree. Step 2 is, again, we focus on the long-term mastery of skills. Good grades are not the same thing as mastery. A's and B's could be the result of memorization, and schools give out higher grades for attendance, participation, and allowing to correct tests for improved scores. College freshmen are unprepared for math. 60% take remedial math, and that's not a lie. US is ranked really poorly amongst other countries in math now. The PISA, which is a huge test that's given across the world, in 2015 ranked our United States at 36th, down from 25th in 2009 and 28th in 2012. STEM-based jobs are growing 55% faster than non-STEM and average a 26% higher income. So again, we're trying to set our students up for long-term success. And we systematically fix math problems. We're not a Band-Aid. This isn't a quick fix. It is a long-term solution. And if we can't fix the kids' problems, then it can't be done. This is the right place for them, and we are confident in that. Step 3, we build those customized learning plans. Those are based on our detailed oral written assessments and based off of some international standards. These do align with our Common Core goals and teachings in the state, and it's never timed and administered in a comfortable environment with no pressure. There's no cookie cutter program, and each is truly customized based on the student's needs. And from that oral and written assessment, we then tailor an individual binder to them specifically. So it starts with prescriptives that are topics identified from that assessment that they either need to be retaught or reintroduced to. From there, we work on Workout Book, which focuses on our number sense with our students and our long-term mastery of skills. Then we also tie in some extra focus-ons and Power Math workouts that pinpoint additional practice needed. So when speaking about these things with your parents, here's an example of how you can have that conversation. In order to help Susie catch up and succeed, we first have to identify the reason we're having trouble. The way we do that is from the detailed assessment that your child takes. The assessment is complimentary and usually takes about 60 to 90 minutes to complete, and we make it a very comfortable environment for them. The assessment is going to tell us exactly what the last level of mastery your child has and where we need to focus from there. If it's an elementary and 1st through 4th grade student, the first part of the assessment will be based on numerical fluency. Numerical fluency tests their addition and subtraction facts and diagnoses whether or not they have their basic knowledge of numbers. From there, we'll test their grade-specific skills like fractions, time, and money. If they're a middle school student, the first part of the assessment will be based on multiplication fluency. This will test their multiplication facts and diagnoses whether or not they have their basic knowledge of numbers. Multiplication fact fluency program will assess students' abilities not only to recall the products of their multiplication families from 0 to 12 quickly and accurately, but also to understand the math behind those facts and use their number sense to find answers they may not have yet mastered. And if they're an Algebra 1 and higher student, in order to help Susie catch up and succeed, we first have to identify the reason we're having trouble. The way we do that is from the detailed assessment that your child takes. The assessment is complimentary and usually takes about 90 to 120 minutes to complete, and we make it a very comfortable environment for them. The assessment is going to tell us exactly what the last level of mastery your child has and where we need to focus. As I said earlier, we customize our learning plans to each individual student, and from the assessment, we're going to build their personal binder and tailor it specifically to them. Our curriculum has over 18,000 pages and is built on 40 years of experience, helping children understand and learn math in a way that makes sense to them. We hear all the time from parents that they do well in everything else, but math is the real struggle, or math just isn't their thing, or other very similar comments. It's not their fault, and it's not the teacher's fault who has to keep up with a pace given by the county and who may have 25 or more kids on all different levels. This is why we must start at their level of mastery or there will be no retention. With this conversation, we're beginning to now paint the picture and walking them down a path from their current pain to helping them find the solution. Each step has to unfold by telling them a story that they can then visualize. Step 4 is discussing the Mathnasium Hour. For our pre-algebra and below students, they are here for 60 minutes. They start off with warm-ups that are generally a mixture of Mathnasium curriculum pages and assigned by the center director based on the student's grade level or skill level. Depending on the time of year, they can also include test prep practice. From there, we move on to our prescriptives, which address their knowledge gaps, and our workout book that addresses their number sense and problem solving or critical thinking skills. And the last part of that session, and that can be up to 25 minutes, is spent on homework. For our Algebra 1 and higher students, those are the students that will attend anywhere from 60 to 90 minutes. Again, they have warm-ups that are generally a mixture of Mathnasium curriculum pages and assigned by the center director based on the student's grade level or skill level. And depending on the time of the year, they can also include test prep practice. They also will start with prescriptives, addressing their knowledge gaps, move on to workout book, addressing their current math in school, number sense, problem solving, and critical thinking skills. And for their homework time, they're allotted up to 55 minutes. The way to go over this with the parent is stating the following. Now, each time your child visits, they will stay for 60 minutes if they're pre-algebra below, and 90 minutes for Algebra 1 and higher, which is what we call the Mathnasium hour. Unlike private tutoring, which is all homework and is just a Band-Aid, we break up the session. First, for about 25 minutes to 35 minutes, we work on their prescriptives, which are the skills identified from their assessment that is needed to correct any foundational gaps. Second, we spend 5 to 10 minutes on their number sense. And number sense is the ability to recognize numbers and be able to manipulate and break them down and apply them in real-life examples. That includes mental math, working with money, or elapsed time are great examples. I don't know about you, but most families don't use cash or have an analog clock in their house anymore, right? Then finally, we work on any homework or schoolwork they currently have to help alleviate that immediate stress from their current class. Hopefully there is no more fighting and screaming at homework time, since we will mostly handle it in the center. During step 5, you want to pull out your parent pack and go over the first few pages. And these include the Mathnasium history and discussing we have over 700 locations in over 14 countries. So step 5 is going to be discussing your center hours. So we are an unlimited drop-in attendance that's unscheduled. So what that means is we're always staffed to our enrollment, and we're open 5 days a week after school. So you want to pull out your hour sheet and review the hours and the holidays for your particular center. We do recommend 2 to 3 times per week, and then mention we are open during the summer, and that's the best time to catch up or get ahead on our materials. And our step 6 is discussing our leadership team and instructors. Most of our leaders here in our centers have degrees in education or math-related subjects, and all of them are highly trained in the Mathnasium method. So to speak about that with your parents, you can use the following example. With math, repetition and consistency is critical. So the best part of enrolling with us is that it's an unlimited and unscheduled attendance program. You can attend as many days as you like or need. We recommend, and our program is most effective at 2 to 3 days a week. But again, it's unlimited. So obviously the more they come, the quicker you're going to see the progress. You also don't need to pre-schedule with us at all. You can just drop in anytime, no appointment necessary. We're always staffed to handle as many students as we have enrolled during our open hours. Our instructors are highly skilled and trained, and they either have a degree or are working on one in education or math-related subjects, and they're all certified in the Mathnasium method. Most importantly, they love math and love teaching it in a way that makes sense to children. Our management team profiles are on our website under the Our Team tab for you to review, as well as here's a printout for you in this parent pack. Step 7 is going to be reviewing our pricing and benefits of our program with our parents. We do offer the complimentary assessment with no commitment, and this makes parents feel comfortable about the assessment and have more confidence in attending it. And we do have startup fees that are $169, and from there you're able to recommend a program of 6 or 12 months. Now to discuss that with a parent, you can go ahead and state the following. Our monthly memberships start as low as $249, $269, or $289 a month, depending on the center that you're in. And we have varying monthly programs links depending on what your child needs. With our proven results, over 18,000 pages of curriculum, unlimited visits, schoolwork, our fun and encouraging environment, you can see why we have approximately 700 locations in the U.S. If you compare us to any other program or private tutoring, you'll see that we offer the best value. Then from there, you can go ahead and schedule that assessment. So I'm looking here at our calendar, and right now we have some openings on either Tuesday or Thursday. Which one works better for you? So from there, you want to do that assumptive close. you want them to go ahead and say, okay, well, Tuesday works best for us. You want to assume that they are going to take on the program because it is the best solution for them.